Calvert, author of many children's books and stories, and welcome to Dine and Wine. Today, we're just going to sit back and relax. I hope that you had a really good writing week this week. I really do. I felt like some of you that are watching me, I saw you out there and doing your pit mat and all of that. I was really impressed, and I'm so excited to cheer you guys on. Okay, it wouldn't be Dine and Wine unless we were dining, and today I've got something from Zonderkidz.com, and I will post the link below. It is just a shrimp and zoodle dish with a little bit of tomato and coconut milk and some seasonings, and should be delish. Let's see. Wow, that does not taste healthy. So, I got my beverage of choice here. Sip, sip, hooray, yeah. Do you have your beverage of choice? If you're watching me in the morning, got your coffee? All right, well, let's go. Well, this was a time when I had just gotten through Institutes for Children's Literature, and in that you do everything. You learn how to write articles, you kind of have different paths, and at the end, they had you choose between a picture book that you wanted to get critiqued or like the first 3 chapters of a novel. Well, I had this really, I thought, interesting idea for a novel. Then I took the novel and I went to agents with it, and I got some agent interest. They were really kind to me as this newbie writer. So I knew I was doing something right, but I was really trying. Back then, you did not need an agent. So you could go into the slush pile and get discovered. Well, that's what I did with Zonderkidz. Zonderkidz, if you don't know, is a Christian publishing company, and they were one of the biggest Christian publishers out there. That was one of my dreams, was to get published by Zonderkidz. I mean, it's my dream to get published, always. I always want to get published. I mean, it doesn't matter how many times you get published, you always want to get published. So when I took this book, it was not Christian, if that makes any sense. Christian books, I would say, in the market, and I read a lot in the market, would always, the theme was very Christian, and there was constant talking about God throughout or something. Mine was what you would call a gay in-between. You know, it was in between Christian and secular. God was in it, but I didn't quote verses everywhere, and it just wasn't a Christian book, I would say. I mean, you would call it, but it could be a Christian book. So I sent it to Zonderkidz' editor. She loved it and told me in order for me to sell this to, take it to acquisitions, I need to pitch it as a series. So could you come up with 3 more books? Oh my gosh, it took me forever to get the one book and write it. It took me about a year to write it. So I was like, well, this is good news. I don't have an agent, and she likes it enough to take it to acquisitions if I have a series. So I got on it, and I had 3 story ideas to go along with it. It took a while, and I had to have synopses for each one of them, so I worked hard for this. And so I gave it to her, all with a little bow and bright shiny prayers over it. And I didn't hear from her for like a couple of months. And then one day she emailed me and said, "I'm so sorry, I have to reject this because I'm getting laid off." So Zonderkidz was downsizing. And then she said they wouldn't accept your proposition anyway because they only want people that are either famous or well-known. I mean, how are people supposed to get discovered if you will only take things from celebrities? And by the way, celebrity books are terrible because they aren't writers. They aren't taking classes on how to write. How many celebrity books out there, and you're the writers, you know, are great. The only one I can think of is Jamie Lee Curtis, and her books are amazing. But I don't know of any other true celebrity books that don't have ghostwriters with them that are any good. And for the Christian market to be that narrow-minded, I was struck. I was struck. I was struck. So what did I do? You know, I tried to get an agent with it, but because it did have so many Christian undertones in it, I think they weren't buying it, and I did get very many compliments. And what happened with that book is, at least I got entryways to agents, really high caliber agents that said, please, I'll send me something else. Send me something else. The end of the story is that book never sold. It is in my desk drawer as we speak. In order to pull it out right now and revamp it, you know, when you have a book in the desk drawer for that long, you pretty much, it's your baby. But I don't know. I still love that book, but I'm on to other things. I'm writing other things, so I don't know. Anyway, okay, now for the fun part here is where you guys give me either questions or some of your work, and then we can work through that. And I'm so excited that I have a question that I'm going to be answering, and then we also have some wonderful work to show you. So excited about that. Okay, and the question's from Corey King, and she says, "Thank you for creating this channel. Woot woot. You're welcome. I look forward to future videos. My question on conflict. I find that some of my favorite PBs, picture books, that I have finished deal with conflict and character journeys with the antagonist, not the main character. My main character is helping them with their journeys. Is this okay?" Okay, so I kind of answered that online for you, but I really want to go over it a little bit more. I would love for you to think about some of your favorite picture books that you've been reading, and how many of those have the antagonist as the main character. So I actually have one of those. I do have my Multiplying Menace character, and I'll get that. I'll have it. Hold on a second. I'm back. All right, so my Multiplying Menace character here, he is an antagonist, but he is also he's also one of the main characters, but he is the antagonist, so he cannot win, right? He's called he's Rumpelstiltskin from the old Rumpelstiltskin story. This is a take. This is the what happened next after the story. This is Prince Peter, and he is the main character, so he's the one that has to win. If the antagonist becomes an important element in the main character's life, and the main character is helping the antagonist, and that brings closure to whatever internal problem your main character has, then I think that would be okay. But if the focus, and if your main character, his focus or her focus only becomes whatever the antagonist's focus needs to be, then you've got a disjointed, unfocused, fuzzy plot. It needs to be something that the main character really cares about. And I don't care if they're helping somebody, they have to internally have to do it. It can't be like a mystery where they go off and solve somebody else's problem. That doesn't work. I actually have a book that I made like that, and I will be discussing it in another one of these Dine and Wines, so I'm not going to show it to you right now. But it didn't sell, and there's a reason for that, okay? Readers have to connect with the main character. End of story, and I can't be more vocal about it. Your main character is the star of the book, and an antagonist-protagonist friendship can happen, but it has to be really compelling to the main character, or it's just unfocused. I've seen it many, many times in some of my clients' books and also for the Rate Your Story judging, and even in the mentorship submissions, where you'll have a main character just wanting to help little brother or little sister with something, and they've got no stake in the game. This next one I'm so excited about. The submission is from T. Chor. She wrote a picture book. She's going to self-publish this book, and she's obviously put a lot of thought into it, and she made a lot of the beginner mistakes, and so she's learning through my video workshops. And I just started the videos, so the longer that I have, the more videos I'm going to put out and the more knowledge I'm going to give you. So in my latest video, I talked about conflict. And so she has a really great example of how she didn't really have much conflict in her story. So she writes, "We walk to the family of gorillas. I see bananas. They're my favorite treat. Mommy, will the gorillas share their bananas? No, she says, but I'll get you something to eat." There's a little conflict here. The main character is saying that they see bananas and that's their favorite treat, and she's wanting the gorillas to share, but the gorillas aren't going to share. But that is a conflict. Maybe there's not enough conflict. The after is, now first of all, her main character didn't have a name. Why is that? Because it's written in first person, and I would take this out of first person. It doesn't need it. Sometimes books need first person if it has a cadence. Flash, the little fire engine, has cadence throughout. If you go to your library, ask your librarians. If you guys don't have Flash, the little fire engine, go to your librarians and ask them to get it. It's a great book to study because it has a lot of cadence. It's going to have a lot of style structure that we're going to talk about later that you would want to study. And so you can see how clipped everything is and how it just kind of rolls. Flash can have a first person because it's so snappy. But when you have a book that's just kind of motoring along, maybe you need that third person omniscient. That might be something you'd want to do. And that's what I see here. I would rather see this in third person. Aloe shouts, "Alpha, look, there's a giraffe. All I see are gorillas sitting among the green leaves. The baby hugs her mother as the mother picks her fur clean. Where are the giraffes?" I would want you to see you put this in third person. That would take away any kind of clinging to inner thoughts. And I'm going to talk about this more on Monday, but if you would just put it into third person, a lot of these problems will already go away. Okay, where are the giraffes? And I can just see her saying, "Where are the giraffes?" She wonders. Okay, that flows way better. It says, "I think the frustration building inside me." Now, think about that. The frustration building inside me. That is something that's fine for a middle grade novel, but it's not appropriate for a picture book, really. That's the trouble with this first person. The frustration building inside me. How would a child express frustration? Look at Lily's purple plastic purse. We see the frustration building inside of her. She doesn't have to tell us that the frustration is building inside of her. She shows us in her action. I think it's great that you're already thinking about that she needs to be frustrated, but she needs to show us. What does she do to show us that she is frustrated? Good job, though. Okay, well, that's all we have for today, and I hope that you've enjoyed it. And if you would, please subscribe to my channel. That's the only way that YouTube knows to suggest it to other people. It's the only way that I can get out with these workshops and helping you guys out. So we'll talk to you on Monday for the workshop. Bye.